Good evening, and welcome to the English GSE 2025. I'm Chuck Sullivan, and I teach poetry. And thank you very much. I'll be here 3-4 days. All right, so and Emmanuel's class is in memoir, and Amanda's class is in fiction, and assorted other marvelous good things that only Amanda is capable of. So we're going to have three different presentations. First, Amanda's class is going to go and they're going to show, they're going to explain some things, and then have a video, and then poetry is going to go next, and we have a marvelous MC for the poetry section, and then memoir will go last but not least, and they have a video as well and assorted other things, and there will be a surprise at the end. You know, there's always a surprise at the end, no matter if you hadn't planned on it. But we've had great classes this year, and we really have formed communities in all three classes, and we have an overall community, but we spend most of the time with our particular subject and students. So I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight, and especially to the parents and siblings of our wonderful GSE students. And so if you all want to get rolling up here. Yes, that's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're all okay, so thank you again, and here you go.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the English Cornerstone. We are so happy that you're here. I'm Keelan, and we are the fiction group. For our Cornerstone, we put together a short film that embodies everything we have learned this summer through script writing, filming, and editing. We split into 3 genre groups for this short film: fantasy, romantic comedy, and suspense. Let's meet our cast and crew.
Hello everybody, my name is Marissa, and I play Kiani for the fantasy film, and I also help write.
My name is Ken, and I play Amir in the fantasy fiction.
I'm Laura, and I helped write, film, and edit.
Hi, my name is Jovi. I played as Jenna, and I helped write for the fantasy film.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I played Fred 2 in the fantasy film, as well as helped with emoting and script writing.
Hi, I'm Tula. I played Brittany in the suspense part, and I edited, filmed, and wrote.
Hi, my name is Ezekiel, and I wrote parts of the script, and I acted for the romantic comedy section.
I'm Bly, and I directed, edited, and starred as the skipping man in the rom-com.
I'm Waylon. I helped write parts of the script for rom-com, and I played Ralph.
I'm Ava. I played the Umbrella Girl #2, and I helped write and film.
I'm Grace. I helped write the script, and I also played Umbrella Girl #1. I'm Amaya. I wrote some of the script for rom-com, and I played Peggy.
Hi, I'm Coco. I was one of the writers for the suspense group, and my character is Indigo. suspense part.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaylin. I helped with script collaboration and I played Chloe in the suspense piece.
I'm Keelan, and I played Virginia. Sorry. I played Virginia in the suspense group and helped write.
Before we get started, we'd like to extend a huge thank you to Malcolm, Amanda, and Nikki for all their hard work and support these past few We also ask that you please turn your cell phones off so as to not interfere with the playing of our video. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, thank you all for taking time out of your day to come support us. Whether you're a friend, fellow, or parent, we are so happy you are here. This next group is poetry. For our Cornerstone, we chose to create poems which represent growth. As all 13 of us are rising seniors, we felt this topic would help us reminisce on our childhood as we stepped into adulthood. We have split ourselves into 3 groups. Our first group is early childhood. Our next group is the adolescents. And finally, we have leaving childhood. I also want to give a very special shout out to Aline for our live music. Please take a moment to scan these QR codes. This will lead you to a written version of our poems as well as our group's program. We want to give a very special shout out to Chuck and our fellows Malcolm and Nikki who have helped us improve our writing over the past 4 weeks. We are so very grateful to have you as our instructors. I hope you enjoy our writing we created for this segment of the English Cornerstone. So this section is early childhood, and we're starting with me. My poem is Flashback to the Crown of Crayons. To the 6-year-old within me, you didn't know it then, but you were magic. Barefoot in the yard, wild and cinematic. Naming clouds like pets in skies so wide, turning fences to gates with nothing to hide. There was no map, no need to be more. Just chalk on the pavement and dreams on the floor. The world was yours, even in its simplest state. You believed in everything all at once, fairies and monsters and glittery stunts. A hug could fix what broke your day, and your stuffed animals always knew just what to say. You didn't ask if joy was earned. You chased it down at every turn. In water, gummy bears, that golden light, and the sound of your own laugh felt just right. Do you remember how you wore that crown? The one made of broken crayons. The reds and blues melted down from sun-soaked afternoons. You never needed praise to feel royal. You ruled with dreams, loud and loyal. Sidewalk chalk beneath your toes, asking questions no one knows. Your pockets held museums of wonder, bug-named secrets tucked there under. You carried caterpillars like tiny friends, as if your hands could even make time bend. The floor was lava, the wind a guide, and grown-ups just stood there on the other side. When they said no, you didn't care. You were telling a story they couldn't bear. I watch you now through the lens of memory, not with sadness, but with awe. You were fearless in ways I'm still trying to relearn. You failed loudly, you forgave quickly. You cried when it hurt and smiled when it didn't, without apology or explanation. So I'm writing to say thank you still, for your wild, unfiltered will. You taught me to dance before I could doubt, to imagine within and to love without. For being yourself with every breath, even when mirrors reflected less. One day, they'll tell you, grow up, let it go, be softer, be smaller, don't let your light show. But if you're still in there, bold, bright, and unapologetically true, make sure to wear that crown proudly, it always will fit you. Thank you.
Soft around the edges. When I was 5, I thought grown-ups knew everything, how to fold towels so the corners lined up, or why thunder sounded like it was mad. sticky, syrup clinging to my hands, like it had something to prove. I'd washed them once, then again, in case the first time didn't count. I believed the pool could hear me if I stayed underwater long enough. It felt like a place where the world stopped listening and started understanding. I told it quiet things, like how the diving board made my heart race and how I smiled anyway. At bedtime, I lined up my stuffed animals so no one would feel forgotten. The one with the torn ear got the most space. I didn't know why that made me feel better, only that it did. Sometimes I'd hide behind the couch when it was time to clean up, not to be sneaky, but to stretch the day a little longer. Some hours slipped away too fast, dissolving like sidewalk chalk after the hose came out. When people laughed too loud, I laughed too. Not because I understood, but because I wanted to belong. It felt like the kind of thing you were supposed to be good at. At night, I'd lie still and try to hear the sound the stars made. I never did, but I kept listening, because it seemed like something a quiet person might catch if they waited long enough. I didn't know much, but I knew how to float, how to wait my turn, how to hold a heavy feeling in both hands without letting it spill. And even now, when I close my eyes underwater, the world softens. Rounder, slower, unnamed, and I remember what it felt like before I had to name it. Thank you.
A poem called Dove Song. For even God's sweetest lamb was born unto the dirt, mulch stuck in its soft knees, damp with life and the stench of a worldly thing. But living moves like the slipstream caressing the dove's fragile shoulder blades. Mortality reeks of abhorrence. It smells like the putrefying sweet of mold, and it is lying to the lamb, that fool. For even I can hear the dove mourning the sunrise as it passes down through the Smokies, past the hills that move like lungs, beneath the moon that shines like bone. I don't know where it's going, and my reaching fingers are still too small to know. The soft lamb, too, will have its head forced to behold the rot, must his imminent hands hold so rigid on its chin. This morning, my soft flesh and baby hairs are damp from the baptismal bowl. Elsewhere and afterward, the lamb has shed the smell of milk and birth far too soon, and run through those mountains and those hills beneath the waning sky. I'll come home soon, chasing down the old dove song. I'll outrun the dusk, that rot that chases me east, that gathering mucus, and that slow burst of Pharisees. So don't find me, Mama, till the 7 horns, or the rattle of my breath, or the dove song only the lamb remembers finds your ears first. Thank you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and read this. I was born into a straw basket, woven by women's hands. Rocked by the same hips that carry both firewood and grief. My world was the warmth of skin, mango leaves whispering lullabies above, and a sky stitched together with mosquito netting, and the hums of prayers said without moving lips. The first language I spoke was dirt, not in words, but in touch. My stubby fingers carving symbols into the earth long before I learned my name. The goats were always talking, and the chickens laughed at everything. And I laughed too, because I did not yet know the difference between joy and noise. When the rains came, they came like gods. Sometimes kind, sometimes angry. The tin roof became a drum. Our songs turned into shouting as we held our breath, as the water turned our roads into slick rivers that stole soap and sandals. But afterward, the air smelled clean, and the frogs came out to sing, and we knew the corn would stretch taller towards a sky that had finally forgiven us. A broken plastic soldier lived beneath my pillow. He had one arm and no face, but he guarded my dreams. While Papa disappeared into a city of smoke, chasing a job that never sent letters home, that soldier never flinched, even when the power went out, even when the shouting came from next door, even when the silence afterward felt like the whole world forgetting your name. School was like a shade tree and a teacher with tired eyes and chalk-stained fingers. We sat on rocks, knees dusted with clay, scratching math on a cardboard and learning stories about places where snow felt like blessings and books were given, not begged for. A pencil was like gold, a notebook was holy. We didn't need a bell to tell us to listen. Hunger already rang loud enough. Some days, food was a memory. We counted papayas like coins. Mama says to fill your belly only if you let it. And so I did, dreaming of rice, meat, soda fizzing like laughter. I woke with Jewel and an ache in my side, but still said thank you for the drink of solid water. I saw myself for the first time in the surface of a bucket we pulled from the well. A boy with sunward cheeks, hair pressed by dust, eyes already carrying the weight of things too heavy to say out loud. The dog we buried in a rice sack, the baby cousin who suddenly stopped breathing, the kite we built from the old newspaper that soared so beautifully before the wind changed its mind. But still, we built mud castles, with our hands, with our backs, with our belief. We knew they trembled when the rains returned, but that was never the point. We flew plastic bags like kites, named stars after footballers that we knew we'd never meet, and turned garbage into treasure. Because we were boys, and this world, even with its broken bones and silent gods, still tasted like sugarcane when the wind was right. And that's it. I'm sorry for yapping.
Our next group is adolescents.
Hello, my name is Olivia Egana, and this is my poem, Joanna. Joanna's room is a collage of mirrors, but her ceiling is gold, and the indents resemble faces with eyes. Her hands are feminine like pink silk. She's jelly-faced and blushed, pristine with rings that never tarnish. Her gelatinous gums are jeweled with bone that indent her polyester pencil. Her boned face is sore from her frame. On Sundays, Joanna tries to pray, but her mind is made of sugar cubes and crystal. She stirs it with a silver-plated spoon. When she puts pencil on the paper, her words are gluttonous and fluffy, like her black tea with milk and honey. She avoids her reflection in cameras. Instead, Joanna searches for herself in pupils. If water is still, it can reflect the same as a mirror. She looks for honesty in churches and rivers. From her glossy eyes, she'd see glass mosaics, the ones of Jesus and vine, stuck with scripture. When she looked in the river, her saliva and sweat became engulfed in the bubbles and rushing tides, but her face would stay the same. Thank you. This is now my poem that I wrote, Cognitive Dissonance. We were 12. I still couldn't seem to bear to utter the words, damn it, even nestled underneath my breath. Perfection, clarity, distraction, polarity. I watched ladybugs bleeding hypocrisy. I warned red herrings of that glowing democracy. Precision, innocence, incision, antithesis. I witnessed death tolls like Mercury in July. I waited 8 minutes and 46 seconds, paralyzed. I grew callous, we all grew callous, lacking smiles with more than mere crow's feet. Self-destructed, marooned next to a cactus, perhaps of our own free will there. I said it, isolation is murderous consolation. I'm now told, I swear like my grandmother, nautically nomadic en route past the Caribbean Sea. A drifting brigantine, temper decaying, topsails begin to resemble the whites of her eyes. She took her last breath 3 weeks after I first saw her. Beaming by in the tired hallway, I didn't think twice then. Not until the tears blurred the locker room's fluorescent ceiling lights as our shoulders were dampened by the agony of another we hadn't even known for a single lunar cycle. Cognitive dissonance. Body contradicts the mind, then body mimes for forgiveness. With the pain in the gut and the heart, you sit down. Mind ignores the silent pleas. Body imagines reconciliation, but the two will never speak. And then one day, it's suddenly okay again. Thank you.
My name is Rachel Pratt, and my poem is The Deep Dark. 11 years old, so smart for her age, eyes full of hope, a desire to engage. Somehow doubt came in, friendships were crumbling, and at some point she realized she could amount to nothing. A deep dark hole appears, the floor falling away. My form implodes, begging this haze to dissipate. Walls are dancing, turning into an unholy waltz. Suddenly it's all too loud, voices and auditory assault. Soul wrung out like an old kitchen rag. I wasn't able to wave that white flag. Starting to do things so unlike me, I wonder if there's a demon taking over my body. Mama got a call home, she's having trouble. That sympathy was foreign, I used to never be a problem. If I can't do it, what is my purpose? I am the smart kid, I can see under the surface. But suddenly I realize it may not matter if failure will cause me to end up in tatters. If I can't be better, are my eyes forced shut? Floodgates burst open and I've had enough. I need to do better, need to be worth something. This clawing in my chest, what if I am nothing? My problems glare like a kaleidoscope, exasperating my debating on how to not mope, to escape the confines of my mind and breathe. The world may as well be ending all without me. A cut on my wrist, fists clenched and tense. It's only one bad grade, but the beginning of the end. Expectations tower high, and there's no reason I can't climb it. But the more I stare up at it, vertigo permeates into violence. My skin is too small, my body is too big. Something's wrong and I cannot hold it in. Tears pour from my face, some sort of pain drags me along. Somehow I remember some bad country song. I lay on my shagged carpet, the sky outside starlit. The mess on my floor decorated by scarlet. I see the door open, I run to my mother, a fleeting reprieve for my fading color. Thank you.
I'm Camila. This is my poem, At the Mercy of Swans. My mother danced where no one could see, near the castles where the dirt kissed the lake. I watched her silver reflection ripple, silk unwinding from her ankles. That very woman with the lacquered eyes and the pointed toes bloomed in her movements, her body leaping and pouring like dusk, a gentleness I only understood through shadows and reflections. I held my breath at the staircase. Mama, I never learned to swim, but the day that you pushed me into the lake was the day that I learned how to breathe. And I watched as you dragged your bound feet across the dirt. In spite of my prayers, I folded into the hush. But before me, a feathered beauty coddled me in grace. And when the stinging in my lungs grew too sharp to bear, I resisted the lust of letting myself fall. Mama, the sun hit my face, and I finally saw you. My feathered freight voice softened. That day, I vowed to become a swan, to rip apart my own body in order to create nothing but a shell of elegance, a tribute to your gentle cruelty. The day I was born was the day I was at the mercy of swans.
And now for our final group, Leaving Childhood.
Hey, I'm Ellie. This is my poem. Oh, I forgot. Okay, there it is. This is my poem, I Think I'll Find You. Every day, I extend my torso out of the third floor window to get a fresh view of the underripe sky. And then, thumbing at my lighter, I peel it early. Grass, desolate for my whisper of the sun. Further along, wheeling in tandem with the dirt edge of our unfinished roads, I visit the post office to retrieve the mail as it waits for me. But it is always another that is listed on the envelope's breast pocket, and all the good news is not my news, yet. I desert them over my family's coffee table, then make my presence rational by peeling sweet potatoes from brown to orange and splitting egg into the slicked skillet. I make up another story about how I will use my time. After breakfast, I'll paint my walls, rake the pathways with sites, new and old cavities alike, and in the evening, finish the paperback on my bedside table. What a life I have.
My face creases as I press a kiss to my sister's hair, still deep in a slumber, and Mom's before I take another step down the driveway. So why then? It hits me. As I make the first streak of color onto my barren home, I am not sure. It's 2, and I'm occupied. But with my head under water, salt clots in my throat, and I need something more. More than a smoke, or to tend to the dead, I need it. Home has been such a good lover. I am lazy, contemplative, full and bored, resentful. When the graveyard was a canvas of pale straw and dandelion wood, when I still had you to stick to, I used to get excited. I used to want to forget the humble state of my body and sprint until my soul hammered at the corners and I fell back easily into the crook of your wing, palms lined red from the exertion of grappling the train with butter. Sweet, into another dream. But I'm older. I'm tired of being held. I've chewed through all the pulp gifted to me by these glorified evergreens, swaddled myself in velvet skin and core. And though the peels stretch over my eyelids and protect me from what strikes the doorframe, I can't ignore the humid glow that has begun to trace the walls with its invitation. It is imminent, yet it waits on me to tape my tools into a cardboard box until retirement returns to knead my horns and shoulders. When I felt enough of life's beautiful despair to know how better to rest. I think that once I leave, I'll find you again. But this time I'll try not to harvest the feeling. Instead, I just want to watch it breathe. Watch as it trips over new feet, learns and changes. Goodbye, and good morning. Thanks again for it all. I will always feel you in my periphery, because I love you. And love doesn't end, it just moves. Thank you.
My name is Maya, and this is Firstly, Lastly. Can I take you with me? I ask through watery, insectile eyes. Don't leave me, I'm not ready yet. They respond how they were always going to, gently, patting the few short wisps of hair I have, whose color will darken like rum. Their smiling eyes, the same color as mine, tell me stories to damn the fear seeping out of me. The trees glow behind them, as they do in all my memories. I look back, hoping for a glimpse, and watch their intertwined arms grow smaller. At the end of the day, they'll be back. But now my age has become one worthy of remembrance. The colors of my walls have gone from yellow to purple, bruising my memory with what has barely been contained within the quartet. Sitting in an empty, unfamiliar oak-paneled room that I will grow to know, I am afraid of the days, months, years, decades without you. So I have one last childish wish. Linger in my life for just a little longer than you're supposed to. For a cup of tea or a slice of pie, I nestle for a few last perfect seconds, clinging now to shoulders rather than knees, warm and wistful, protected and perfect. Hidden behind now braided silken hairs, I whisper, can I take you with me?
All my life, I've looked at you through this window. From behind the curve of its moon-pale glass, I've come to know the veiled shape of your reticent soul. Only by way of shadows distorting across the twisted ori. Everything I know about you, every scorched abstraction, every alison treasure, every sputtering likeness, is engraved within the gilded edges of this warped wooden frame. Not often, the glass concedes something more tangible. I harbor these barbed fragments and paint them like armor over my inherited wings, leaving only the flesh above my heart exposed to your beck and scourge. This knowledge is my birthright, and you are denying me what is due. Heavy-handed time imbues the translucent crystal with something like double exposure. Simultaneously, I see you shriveled with age, punched with the weight of experience, lizard skin, and still life. And I see you stunted with youth, vulnerable with the lack of life, innocent like the heat-swept fawn, coaxed from night by the warmth of March 1969. From my side of the glass, I both despise your abiding silence and commiserate your hesitancies. This window, I've come to realize, is willed emission, and you control my view. You decide the thickness of the glass, which pulses with palpable interference and dulls your voice before it can reach my ears. Shining idleness is our pretext, that soft glow burning from rolling hills, illuminates only empty space, where there should be outstretched hands. But now our window is closing with the force of an unmistakable wind. In the 11th hour, its addled breeze sears our skin and stirs us from sacred dreams, of paved cul-de-sacs and impossibly blonde hair. We wake up now to find that the air on Sheffield Circle is smothered with the fire of angels, that my hair is much darker, and that I am growing up. The future approaches with graceless speed, and while it does, all I know is this. As our window closes, like it was always meant to, I pray with sickled fists that you will open the door. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Free, and this is my poem, The Answer Is No. My eyes swell as steaming rivers flow down a bare path, past a vessel of sound, out the brown treasure that holds everything together. It travels through time, through the thick woods grown from me, grown in a short 17. When I turn 18, I question, will I lose you? Will there no longer be a forest of reflection, banned from embracing mistakes, forced to shy away from enjoyment? Others look ahead and leave you in the past, blocking out your beauty and your presence when you're the reason they originate. I sat there in silence and held in every tear. 2 rows behind you, replaying every moment. I gazed at you as you gazed at her, observing as she moved with each rhythmic beat, while effortlessly watching him. A story I wanted for myself, being stripped from me in broad daylight. Even with my eyes closed, I could still hear the connection. I could still feel contact between your light brown iris and hers, only a couple hues darker. Still, I was imprisoned and bonded to the vision in front of me. When I talk to you, nothing works. I try and try, a persistent effort, you rarely ever reply. I don't know why I feel drawn to you, why I crave for you to care, why I'm even holding back tears. Rejection is a dear friend of mine. Nothing new to me, something I try to get comfortable with. When the old friend comes to visit, it always thinks a bit more every time. I question, so many times. How did I miss the clues? How did I not notice my constant nagging? How in reality, you were just polite. I made all your actions everything I wanted them to be. You made your efforts not to blur the line, but to me, there was never a line. If you've never met this friend, I wouldn't rush to do so. Because once you've met them, what do you do with all the talent, the passion and emotion you've gained? You wore your heart on your sleeve, hid your jealousy, scaled back adoration, and still misinterpreted friendliness as likeness. What an idiot mistake. For me, it's never the same. It comes in different ways, but still remains my friend. Still holds my secret close to his heart, never sparing my feelings that are easily torn apart. The first day of this visit brings me sorrow and reflection, a train filled with lost thoughts, some that escape and come back in the depths of the night. Other times it remains, like the pimple on your chin that never goes away, pulsating with pus, pulsating with fury, pulsating with embarrassment. room where my emotions remain level to prevent anything abrupt. I never want anything to change how I've made you in my head. I built you up to be a kin, even if I'm not a Barbie. I decided to shape you, but honestly, that's possessive of me. Possessive of me to want to be in control of your life. Possessive of me to change you. Abusive to me to make myself believe that you're who you're not, a being you don't even know. The recurring problem may very well be me. It could be my honesty and my direct attitude. The favor I give to you of never having to guess with me. Everything is visibly seen, laid out neatly for you and everyone else to see. When I couldn't tell if things were reciprocated, I began to become sick to my stomach. So immersed in your life, so ashamed that I'd taken the time to genuinely want to know. That our conversations would make my night, but in your mind, a place I desired to be. It was just another form of small talk, not bringing the slightest delight. I hate that my friend came back today of all days. The one day every month where my energy is most aligned. I hate that this was no mistake, that this was bound to happen, that this is what believers call fate. I'm not sure where I go from here, if I will ever find the tears, or if they will come one random day when I'm driving and I hear a verse reminding me of this feeling, reminding me of the embarrassment, frustration, and anxiety I brought myself. Tomorrow will come, and it won't bother the rejecter. They will go on with their life, they will dance with the world, while the rejected will either shy away from or embrace their vulnerability, aware of how they feel and what they want. The second choice is the one that keeps me bright-eyed. It's the reason I remain friends with rejection. Because yes, sometimes you'll be the rejecter, but other days you'll be rejected. And in the final days, you'll meet your world, and this time, this story will be meant for you. So yes, the answer was no.
And now for our final poem from the beautiful Aline.
So I have an epigraph. Unto Adam also, and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. And that's Genesis 3:21 through 23. My poem is Farewell Address. Dear Mom and Dad, it is summer now. When comes spring, I will have to leave Eden. The hammer of the evening calm in the orotund throat of the gull wakes the infirm mind on the palm to bells like stars that beg the world to resurrect. These are ferns with tired design from long abiding divine order in the live oak shade. So make me Lazarus with his cane, whose head of wonders leaves the blind man to the night of seraphs and their flowing river graves. Will we meet again? I am Arthur with my men, and the apparition riseth over Pentecostal high. Raise the lights, the hydrangeas on the beam conceal beneath the veil of green, and arms of steam the children of the lambent stream will shed from me the dead and dying rain. I am marshland and I was tan once and wild-haired as the moss, and the fur cuff held my shivering outside the Philadelphia Ballet. I am nutcrackers hale and gay that toddle as the piano plays. I am pleased touch and I am going through a phase. Time is a river I dove into with my nose plugged and battled with the tide. I man the January tube side beyond the Nanahalo raft and the candid copper photograph that washes me of sin, that takes the corded hair and cleaves it by my chin. My feet are in the river twice. Raise the light, raise the light. The future is Orion with his bow between my eyes. Both hands are supplicant to the sky. It is time, it is time. The future looms in Turkish boats with snakes and crates and Damascene stokes. I'm nascent and terrible, and all that I know is a burden of stones of pilgrimage to undergo. I have love songs yet to write, of crooning nights from the car to the cradle in my mother's arms. I have books to devour and figs to pluck and languages to construct and apples to eat and weight to lose and tan to gain and newer shoes. I have acne to kill, and the killers of me are love and loneliness and greed. The hammer of the evening calm is another day lost to the grave, and the countdown goes like men in rows onto the boat and far away. This is cruelty, this is slaughter. My time is crippled and unrealized. I set my years with you to cheap demise, but still tolls the call to arms, the call to march from Eden to the field of stars. I am Joan, I am Bernard, and the eye inside the radal arms, the call from home to fall like stars. The egg must break before we starve unborn. The fruit is to be, the fruit is nigh. So will you make coats for me when I leave? Love, Aline.
I want to take another moment to appreciate the wonderful work from my classmates and I once again. We worked extremely hard on these pieces, and I'm so glad that everyone here enjoyed them. Thank you so much for coming out and listening to our perspective on growth.
Thank you, parents, family, friends, teachers, and fellow students for coming out this evening. My name is Aubrey, and I'm thrilled to share a snippet of our class with you. Over these past few weeks, we have written countless memoirs, and I've learned so much from our amazing teacher, Emmanuel. And our fellows, Nikki and Malcolm. This truly has been an incredible experience and challenging in ways we didn't know we could be challenged. In our classroom, there's been an abundance of laughter, emotion, and occasionally arguments. Now, while we can't agree which is better between rice and pasta, we can agree that memories and experiences are what make human life so special. We've shared so many of these special moments together to the point where I feel as if my classmates, I've known them my whole life. So for our presentation today, we wanted to focus on memories, or vignettes, that have taken place here at Governor's School. Pay close attention because what you see in the video will help afterwards. So without further ado, I present to you the 2025 Memoir class. Welcome to Alibi or Lie. I'm one of your co-hosts, Thea Shaw. And I'm your other co-host, Cece Fitzgerald. Let's start by introducing our VIPs. Please welcome Chloe and JD to the stage. Today we're going to be playing a fast-paced game where 4 of you will help guess the murderer. We'll explain the rules to y'all, but make sure to stay involved. It keeps it exciting. Let's introduce our suspects. Suspect 1, Gibson. Suspect 2, Gail. Suspect 3, Riley. Suspect 4, Catherine, Michaela, and Ella.
Now it's your turn to step in.
Your job? Figure out who's lying and who really killed Emmanuel.
All right, we need 4 volunteers.
Emery!
Ready? Ready? Okay, ready? All right. You have 1 minute to come up with a question for one of the suspect color groups.
You only have one question, so make sure it's a good one. Try to think about what didn't add up in their alibis.
Okay, your 1 minute starts now.
Time's up. Now you ask her one question and you have 1 minute to hear the suspect's response.
Watch how they answer. Are they telling the truth or are they dodging the answer? You decide.
Team A, who are you questioning?
Riley.
What question would you like to ask?
Riley, you said you were with 3 friends when you were out playing the card game. But in the video, counting yourself, there were only 3 people, meaning you were only with 2 friends. Why is this?
You know, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
That's all I have to say. Team B, who are you questioning?
We'd like to question Alora and friends. Alora and friends. Please step forward. All right. My question for you is, our original question was for Riley, so I'm making this up on the spot. Basically, I want to know, why were you guys on the hammocks and everyone else was inside actually doing something? Like, you guys were just on the hammocks, just talking about homesick and all that. I don't know, man. Seems kind of sus. Let us know.
We like to be outside.
Okay, now that you've heard the answer,
It's time to make a call. Who do you think killed Emmanuel?
you've got 30 seconds to talk with your teammate and come up with a killer. Your time starts now.
Raise your hand if you think it was Riley. Okay. Raise your hand if you think it was Alora and friends.
Okay, Team A, who killed Emmanuel?
We believe it was
Riley.
We think the murderer was Riley.
Two votes for Riley? Okay, everyone. Thank you for playing. All of you may now return to your seats. Level zero. Thank you.
And now for the big reveal.
Drum roll, please. Although he left me soon, his life will always be remembered in ways he loved.
They never did figure out who the murderer was, but I might know a thing or two. And I started with a recommendation letter. I was with my girlfriends, and we heard the news that someone had finally gotten selected. They were really upset. It makes sense since it's such a big opportunity, but I didn't have the heart to tell them the truth. I couldn't lose my friends. I told them that Sarah had actually been the one to receive the letter. I told a little lie. So what? Oh, wait, and I told Sarah how yummy the dining hall cucumbers are. My friends just wanted their revenge. We thought it was the perfect crime. To protect myself and my dear friends, I just had to join in the investigation.
There's been a murder. Oh, heavens.
We never meant to kill Emmanuel. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I watched it all play out.
Well, we hope you enjoyed all of the presentations. Murder figuring in here too. What's that about? But anyway, I thought everybody performed incredibly well, and thanks to Amanda and Emmanuel and Nikki and Malcolm who helped make it sing for us this summer. So thank you all for letting us have your sons and daughters in our charge for these past 4 weeks. We're all very grateful, and for all the parents who were able to get here tonight, we're really thrilled for them, because you will have your marvelous children back on Saturday, and all of us here will miss them. I've been doing this for 45 years, and it's never easy to say goodbye. As Smokey Robinson said, what's so good about goodbye? Thank you for coming, and have a safe ride home and a safe walk to the door.